Hi and welcome to the Malat Cookery channel. So today is a really quick recipe video. We're making tandoori chicken wraps. So this tandoori chicken is cooked in a different way to the way I would cook it if it was going into a curry. So not over hot coals or in a hot frying pan. I'll explain more as we go through the video. The spice blend we're going to be using from the Malat range is the Tandoori Masala spice mix. And if you haven't got access to the Malat range of spices, then just try and get hold of a really decent Tandoori Masala mix. The supermarket own brand blends of tandoori mixes and curry powders really don't cut it. As usual, a full list of ingredients will be given at the end of the video, so let's have a look at those ingredients now and anything else we're going to need for today. So before we go any further, I just want to apologise for the noise level in the kitchen today while we're filming. There are a lot of meals being made today, some for elderly relatives who are unable to get out during this coronavirus outbreak. But I'm sure we'll get through it. So for today's recipe, you're going to need, and this is enough for around 4 adults, 500 grams or 2 chicken breast fillets which have been sliced. Obviously there's a lot more, there's about 1 kilo of chicken here, but I'm going to be using this chicken for another recipe as well. So 500 grams of chicken breast sliced. I've got a 500 gram tub of natural yogurt. We've got a pack of tortillas. A large white onion which has been sliced, a large red bell pepper again which has been sliced. I'm going to be using a teaspoon of mint sauce, the juice of half a lemon, 15 grams of Malat Tandoori Masala spice mix. If you can't get hold of the Malat Tandoori spice mix, then use obviously whichever one you want. Just make sure that it's a restaurant grade or a really good quality. Most of the own branded supermarket tandoori mixes really don't cut it. A lot of them have got bulking agents like flour in, so there's not that much taste to them. And I'm also using 1/4 teaspoon of red food colouring. This is obviously optional, you don't have to use that. And then on top of this, just any salad that you want to actually go into the wrap once it's all made. So first thing we want to do is to make our tandoori sauce. So I've got 250 grams of the natural yogurt in a bowl. I want to add in our 15 grams of tandoori masala spice mix, the lemon juice, teaspoon of mint sauce, as I said, this is an optional extra, but I'm putting in the food colouring as well, and just mix that in, make sure it's all well combined. You want to cover our chicken and then just mix all this in thoroughly. Just make sure that all of the chicken is coated on all sides. Okay, so once that's all mixed in, next thing to do is I'm going to cover this with food wrap into the fridge for a minimum of 2 hours, just so that chicken can soak up all of those flavours. So the next step, once the chicken has been in the fridge for a couple of hours, is we need to bake the chicken with the red bell pepper and onions in the oven. So I've turned the oven on to 180 degrees centigrade, that's up to temperature now. I've got a roasting tin which I've lined with foil and then put some oil in the bottom of the foil just to make sure that nothing sticks to it. So I'm going to put our onions in there, pepper, And then our chicken on top. Okay, so that's about 500 grams. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to cover this now with foil, place it into the centre of the oven for 30 minutes, take it out of the oven, remove the foil off the top, turn this over so it's all nicely mixed together, and then return it to the oven uncovered for another 20 minutes. Okay, so this is what we've got. So this chicken's cooked now. As I said, after 30 minutes in, took the foil off and then just mixed in the onions and peppers. So the reason for cooking the chicken like this and not just frying it in a frying pan is chicken breast meat is quite delicate anyway, but when you cut it into thin strips it becomes even more delicate, and frying it in the frying pan potentially will just dry the chicken out. So you'd end up with one of these wraps that you can buy in the shops that's just far too dry, got some flavour to it, but the texture just isn't right. So with this chicken, it's nice and soft. Part of it is almost sort of stewed in the juices. Absolutely gorgeous. So the next thing to do obviously is to build our wraps. So the last thing we need to do is obviously build the wrap. So with something like tandoori chicken, baked tandoori chicken, which is what we've done here, I like to add a little bit of sweetness to the wrap itself, to the tortilla. So something like a mango chutney or a tomato chutney is absolutely ideal. I mean, you can put mayo on if you like. But what I'm using today is banana sauce. So that's this stuff. So I first came across this in Malaysia. Absolutely delicious. It's got a sweet taste, but it's also got a tiny bit of a kick to it as well, so it adds a little bit of spice to something like this. But you don't need a lot. So spread whatever you're using over the tortilla. The next thing for me is always to add the meat on the bottom. It's entirely up to you how you do it. So some of the onion as well, and the pepper. And if you've never made a wrap before, then keep the filling away from the outside edge, it's a lot easier. Now I'm just going to add some cucumber. A little bit of tomato. And just a tiny bit of shredded lettuce. So a number of ways to make up a tortilla. What I don't like is where the sides are folded in and then it's rolled up, because all along the edge you get a very thick piece of tortilla. So the way I like to do it is to fold the tortilla over almost all the way and then just draw it back, just drawing in all of the filling, and then just roll till we get to the edge. Then whatever you're using as a spread, just a little bit more on the edge just to seal it in, and then with the ends just fold the ends in so you're doing a parcel or a present, just to seal in the edges. And that way you don't get this thick tortilla at the edge. So once that's nicely presented, cut the tortilla at an angle, again just to add to the presentation. And I'm going to be serving this with some chips or French fries, a side salad. So there you go, tandoori chicken cooked in a different way, what I actually call pink tandoori chicken, so it doesn't have that intense colour that it would if you had it on the barbecue or in a hot frying pan, but it's essential that you cook the meat in a way that it's juicy and succulent because it's been surrounded by something like a bread product and a tortilla, and that is quite dry. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button, and thank you very much for watching.